Deb Eardley with the Pittsburgh Trib. Governor Corbett, you've talked about transparency. Would you support things moving through the legislature now to make Penn State subject to the Pennsylvania Right to Know Act?
It's a good question. And this is one that has been going on for a while, and I will tell you I shared some thoughts yesterday that we have to decide, the board has to decide whether they're going to be a public entity that receives public funds or a private entity. There is an aspect to this that they are the land-grant college, and I would certainly see that money would continue if they made a decision to go in a different direction. But it is something that I think is incumbent upon the board in the next few weeks and months that a decision has to be made. And if the decision is to continue to receive state funds, and I think it should have been this way before, then with receipt of state funds as part of their budget, I would support if the legislature were to pass a law or amendment, I guess, to the right to know, that they would have to follow that. So there's going to be a big decision forward for them.
Andrew McGill from the Morning Call in Allentown. This is for President Erickson. The governor just said Penn State has to make a decision in the coming weeks, months, which direction it's going to go. I'm curious to hear your take on which direction Penn State should go.
Well, I've felt all along that Penn State is a public institution. It's a state land-grant institution, and we benefit significantly, the students of Pennsylvania, by having that public support. In addition to that, we're also, as a land-grant university, we benefit significantly, and the Commonwealth does, by the funding for agricultural research and cooperative extension. That's been one of the hallmarks of Penn State for 150 years. So we certainly have a public mission. I believe the board is committed, as I am, to maintaining access for students and affordability to the extent that we can, and we're certainly looking at every area where we can keep costs under control in our operating budget, and that's going to be a real challenge going forward, because we know well the state has a difficult economic situation, and so we're certainly committed to serving the public, and hopeful that we'll continue to receive the public support.
Bill?
A follow-up to the right to know question for Karen Peets. Interested in what your feelings and position are. Are you prepared to commit to allowing Penn State to be brought under the Right to Know Act? And if not, could you explain why the university, or why Penn State needs a level of secrecy that most public universities do not have?
You know, I think I frankly don't know all the ins and outs of that law. I'm sure I will get to understand all the ins and outs of that law, but I would put it in the frame of this review of what are best practices and what do other large public universities do that are at the top of their game on governance. And if that's what they're doing, then I would think that we would join that. But there will be a complete review.
The fact that Berkeley is under that law in California, would that significantly sway your position? Berkeley's arguably one of the best public.
Can you use the microphone?
Oh, sorry. Berkeley is arguably one of the best public universities, and they seem to thrive, even existing under the law.
Well, that's, I guess, the concept of best practices, that we would take a look at what are the best universities. In terms of governance, what are they doing?
Just for those who may be watching who have an interest in Pitt, Temple, and Lincoln, is the decision that Penn State has to make, is that also going to apply to those other state-related schools? Well,
I think that the legislature has to make the decision. The incidents may be something that has started the process, but I know that we continue to give state money, state taxpayer dollars, to 4 institutions that are state-related. And I guess I have used the term state-related as neither fish nor fowl. And maybe it's time to define which one it is. Would that apply to the other universities? That'll be up to the legislature to make a decision. Will I talk with them? Sure, but I haven't done that yet.